Three-time loser jumping jack flap Beto O'Rourke is back in the news. Check this out from Breitbart. Report: Beto O'Rourke kept $100,000 in Sam Bankman-Fried donations. Hmm. Failed. I love how these articles always start off with failed gubernatorial candidate, failed presidential candidate when they're talking about Beto. Failed Texas gubernatorial candidate Beto O'Rourke has claimed that he returned a $1 million donation from disgraced former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried. However, it appears that he did not return all of the money, according to a report. A spokesman for Jumpin' Jack Flap said in November that the campaign returned the unsolicited $1 million donation Bankman gave the failed Texas Democrat, in October. An O'Rourke spokesman said the refund was issued prior to FTX's bankruptcy and the discovery of Bankman-Fried's reportedly illegal business practices. However, the Washington Free Beacon found that Jumpin' Jack Flap team did not return all of the money. Here we go. But O'Rourke's latest campaign filing contradicts those assurances. In a report last week, the campaign disclosed a $900,000 refund to Bankman-Fried on November 4th. The campaign said it's holding on to the other $100,000 pending the outcome of the investigation of Bankman-Fried, who has been charged with campaign finance violations and fraud related to his cryptocurrency firm, FTX. The Jumpin' Jack Flap three-time loser campaign said it will place the money in a fund for the victims of FTX collapse. It is not clear why the campaign only reserved part of the donation for victims. And the pledge contradicts that the campaign's initial claim that it received and returned Bankman-Fried's donation before the news broke his wrongdoings. FTX declared bankruptcy on November 11th. But the extra $100,000 on the books would come in handy for O'Rourke, whose campaign has just $212,000 cash on hand. It is unclear whether Jumpin' Jack Flap plans to run for office in the future. He lost by 11 points to Greg Abbott this past election. He lost a 2018 Senate race against Ted Cruz and dropped out of the 2020 Democratic presidential race 2 months before his first primary. This guy's a three-time loser, big-time three-time loser. Neither Chris Evans, O'Rourke's spokesman, nor anyone from Jumpin' Jack's Flap campaign respond to requests for clarification of these seeming inconsistencies. Jumpin' Jack Flap his campaign has not said if they will return a $100,000 donation from FTX. Now, this is interesting. Now, like this article says, why keep $100,000? I mean, why not keep $200,000? Why not keep $500,000 if you want to return it to these people? If you want to give it to these people whose investments were taken by this guy, why not just set aside the whole $1 million and say we're waiting for this investigation. We want to give this to a fund for the victims. The whole $1 million. I mean, I don't know. It look. I mean, either way, it looks bad. It looks shady. Whether you keep 10% for the big guy, that is 10%. So 10% for the big guy, then I'll give the rest back to this this dirty money, this illegal money. Now, this is from November. The Texas Tribune. Failed political candidate Beto O'Rourke returned a $1 million check from FTX's Sam Bankman-Fried. Here it says that Jumpin' Jack Flap returned a $1 million donation to Sam Bankman-Fried just before the election. Now, he said the money, which was received on October 11th, was returned because the donation was unsolicited. Unlike other large donations, O'Rourke had not talked with Bankman-Fried prior to the donation, and a large sum of money took the campaign by surprise. The contribution was unsolicited, and the campaign's upcoming Texas Ethics Commission report will show that it was returned back on November 4th, prior to the news stories that he would later come out about the donor. This was his spokesperson who said this. Now I'm curious. He didn't clarify back in November that they kept $100,000. He says the money was returned. So I was under the impression, because I remember when this story broke, I was under the impression that the three-time loser returned the whole check. But we come to find out that they kept 10%. I don't know. This doesn't look good. Now, is this guy going to run for office again? Is this why he kept the money? Because he's low on cash, campaign cash. I mean, he doesn't have a job. Actually, I think he's become some kind of doing something with some university in Chicago or something. Some fellowship. I don't know. Whatever. We'll get to that later. But as I reported on before, after he lost to Greg Abbott by 11 points, he burned almost $200,000, $200 million on 3 different campaigns where he was unsuccessful in all of them. The only success he can claim is that he almost beat Ted Cruz. And almost, that means not, he still lost by 200,000 votes. Former Rep. Beto O'Rourke, Democrat Texas, has burned roughly $175 million running unsuccessful campaigns for serious different offices in just 4 years. I mean, I don't know. There is a very difficult barrier to overcome for a third-time loser. This guy should not run for office again because he has a history of raising millions and millions of dollars and burning through it and losing. He hasn't produced any success. But back to the story here is, are they actually holding this for good reason? Are they going to give this money to a fund to give back to the people who lost their investments? I want to know what you think. Do you think there is some shady stuff going on with this guy? Is he just is his campaign just you know what, we'll let's say you find some money on the ground, you find $1,000, you want to return it. I mean, a different scenario, but I'm gonna go ahead and keep $100 for myself and give the rest back to where it belongs. I don't know. It just seems a little fishy to me. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this situation. Is he going to run for office again? Is that why he kept $100,000? Is it going to a good cause like the fund for these victims? I don't think it is. Because why didn't they reveal that before? You see, why didn't they say that in November when this story broke that he got $1 million? Why didn't they say we're keeping $100,000 to give back to the people to put in a fund? But this comes out months, 2 months later from that November 29th article that they have $100,000. That they returned $900,000. So yeah, 10% for the big guy. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care.